Hi, all. Coming to you today from the outdoor office. Tune in to hear about a underrepresented colon cleansing procedure called the lemon enema that is its impact is so profound. And I'm constantly reminded when people bring up to me how it's changed their life when I've introduced this technique to them, how important it is to share. And so I'm doing this for the greater community to be introduced to this technique if you haven't already. I'm Siena Songbird, detox enthusiast, and have a passion for translating complex body mechanisms into more understandable action steps for the people who just want to feel better and don't necessarily want to understand all the ins and outs, in the research. So we're gonna cover sort of just in general why enemas are so awesome and why colon cleansing is so important and such a crucial part of the drainage system. And then why lemon juice enemas in particular and how to do it. So, I talk about this a lot, which is the drainage system. So you can imagine kind of like a triangle, and at the base of the triangle, this big section is the colon, is the most important. It's the bottom of the drainage system, and it's sort of like if the colon is backed up, then everything above it. So we have the colon at the bottom, then we have the liver, gallbladder, bile ducts. And then above that, we have the kidneys, the skin, the lungs, the lymphatics, the brain, lymph. So a lot of times it's just really important for us to take a look at these like big bottom chunks first to make sure that the flow is happening there so that the rest of it can drain down. Otherwise, it's just backing up into those sort of finer systems, right? So today we're looking at the colon, and enemas are such an amazing technique to get things moving in there. We actually do have quite a buildup of mucoid plaque and slime in the colon, as well as yeah, it's a whole system. It's a whole ecosystem in there that can be many, many layers and can have all sorts of kind of creepy things going on. And the enemas, so even like people who, of course, constipation is a huge problem, right? And that really is a problem if you're ever trying to detox or you're trying to do a kind of cleanse or trying to go after parasites or anything like that, or chelate heavy metals. You do not want to do that if you are constipated and you're not, applying some kind of interventions. But additionally, even if you're like, I'm not constipated, I have diarrhea, they've actually found that a lot of diarrhea actually happens. It's actually like there's a bunch of built up fecal matter, and then there's like a tube. There's like a little tube that still like has movement, and then it like shoots out. We have poop shooting out of that, and it's diarrhea because that's the only thing that can fit through that hole. But so it might be easy to think, well, I have diarrhea, so there's nothing like stuck up in my colon. Well, you might be wrong about that. And diarrhea is not necessarily a sign that things are totally clear in there. So, in general, along the path, part of how we end up at enemas or colonics is because this part of the drainage pathway is so important. And as we clear things up higher up, they can get caught in the colon and sort of build up and cause like a lot of problems. I don't know if any of you have had the experience of cleansing something out. Like you can see it really clearly with liver stones or with parasites that when you clear them from wherever they're kind of hanging out, chilling, you clear them out, and when they get to the colon, they start sort of getting reuptaked into the bloodstream because the colon actually does absorb certain things, right? It absorbs nutrients and it also absorbs fluids and electrolytes. And that's part of how it solidifies the feces into, a stool. But you can notice that as you're cleansing those things and as they get to the colon, if they don't get out of the colon right away, you can start to feel really, really bad. And that is part of the reason that we have techniques for intervening with the colon and helping clear it out. And apparently, water gourd enemas go back at least to biblical times. And probably before that as well. But yeah, there's some interesting information about the water gourd enemas in the Essene Gospels, talking about like cleaning waters, you know, the water spirits actually like cleaning bad energies and spirits out of the body, and that's a really important technique is in the rectal way. So another really important place to consider cleaning the colon with colonics or enemas is when you are fasting or cleansing, because especially when things aren't moving, continuing to move through the colon, like you're not having regular bowel movements because you are not eating as much, or you're, for say, on a juice fast or some kind of liquids fast, you really want to help make sure the bowels are getting cleaned out and the colon is getting cleaned, and that you're not sort of just reabsorbing all of that waste, and especially that like higher toxicity, higher acidity waste that your body is producing when it's has a chance to break things down and clean it up, you know, with a fast or a cleanse. And obviously it's extremely important that if you're ever going after parasites, you know, that you really help get them out of the colon. Okay, so that brings us to, so you've probably heard about a variety of different kinds of enemas, and today I wanted to talk about the lemon enema because not as many people know about it. You know, we have the regular distilled water enema, we have a saltwater enema, you know, there's a variety of enemas. Maybe you've heard of a coffee enema, but the lemon enema has been really helpful in my toolkit. And I learned about the lemon enema from the mucusless diet healing system community. Um, and that's you know, that's a community that is based on Arnold Ehret teachings around eating mucus free and breaking down the mucus that has built up in the body and in the intestines. So I don't follow this dietary regimen now, but I have spent some time with it and really like, I really got the, you know, got what this tool of the lemon enema is, and I've incorporated it and shared it with my clients since then. So the lemon, you know, it's acidic, and so it's lemon's kind of confusing because it's both acidic, but it also alkalizes, you know, like when you drink it, it actually helps alkalize the body, but it itself has acidic compounds. So, you know, you can kind of think about it both ways, but the colon has a slightly more acidic pH in its natural sort of its natural ecosystem state. So we're kind of working with the colon in that way. And the lemon, that's sort of like acidic, abrasive, some of these purifying compounds of the lemon help to sort of break up the mucoid plaque. It's kind of like a solvent for the like buildup on a pipe, you know? And so yeah, you can kind of think about it like that. If you're trying to sort of break through this like these years of built up gunk in there. And then another reason, like sort of additionally to that, is that I find the more acidic enemas, such as a lemon enema, or if you're really in a pinch, you can even substitute apple cider vinegar with the water. I tend to find that they evacuate well, so they come back out of the body well, as opposed to certain kinds of enemas that, for me personally, tend to get stuck, such as like baking soda enema. So that's obviously, you know, an alkaline solution. So interesting to consider those things. But I do find the acidic ones to have a really good track record of fully evacuating and therefore leaving me feel, you know, not bloated, cleaned out, and like the thing happened the way that I kind of wanted it to. So, how do we do a lemon enema? Well, first you need some good water. Distilled water is probably best, but you can use a really good filtered water, reverse osmosis, something, you know, as low parts per million of other contaminants as possible is ideal. That's why distilled water is the best. Excuse me. And you're gonna want the juice of fresh lemons. Now, if you absolutely cannot, you know, cannot find or do or afford fresh organic lemons or limes, or for some reason that doesn't work for you, it is also possible to use a bottled organic lemon juice. I have even been known to do that, but I will say the fresh lemon juice is like a whole different world and really provides that living life force energy. It has amazing electrolytes. You know, you do have salts, you have vitamin C in this, you have a lot of electrolytes. And so if you can, that's really the way to go. And of course, as usual, you want to bring your water up to a good body temperature. Um, a quart to 2 quarts, whatever your enema bucket can fit. I love enema buckets. You might still have one of those enema bags, which are fine too, but I just love the buckets because they're so much easier to clean. And let me know if you want the sort of breakdown tutorial of sort of my enema kit recommendations or products. You just let me know enema kit in the comments and I'll connect you with like some recommendations in that department. But whatever you have, you can probably use. Yeah, so you've got your water, you warm it up to the right temperature, not too hot, not too cold. And then you want to start with so like you could start with half a lemon. Of course, it's a little hard. Lemons are all different sizes and they're also all different kinds of juicinesses. So they're not really equivalent. So you could say like if you're really sensitive, you might even start with like 1 teaspoon of lemon juice in your quart of water or your quart and a half of water, and then see how long you can hold that. The recommendation is 5 to 15 minutes, or if it's even less than that, that's totally fine too. One of the guys I've learned about it from, Professor Spira, he says that like it's better to even do like multiple enemas, even if you can't hold them for a long period of time. Because again, it's like that rinsing, sort of like breaking down the mucus. But obviously, if you can sort of let the solvent soak in there, that's also good. But then you might also want to follow it up with another enema. So, and then, so start with like less, you know, start with a little bit of lemon juice and then see how that goes for you. And you can work your way up to, you know, the juice of a whole lemon, the juice of 2 whole lemons. Some people really get wild with it, but you will find it could be quite hard to hold. And so you might as well drop it down a bit, or just know that you're gonna sort of apply a couple of them. Some people, there's this guy, Brother Air, who does like, he recommends doing like yogic inversions, you know, for like 45 minutes with the lemon juice in there, but like nobody else in the planet can pull that off. So don't feel bad if it's just like in and out as well. That's totally fine. If you are in a pinch and you need this kind of enema, you can also try you know, a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in the water. That should work pretty well as well. But yeah, why don't you try the lemon enemas out? I've had, or as those who are fond of this type of enema call them, lemonas, lenemas, something like that. I've heard just such great reports for those who I've introduced them to. You will find that parasites do not like it. You know, yeasts and fungus will also die and come out. So don't be surprised if you get some slime dumping. And just always keep in mind that if you do an enema and then, you know, a few hours later you start feeling really bad, you may need to do another enema because of what was left in there or sort of killed off from your enema, from the stronger enema. So in that case, like if you're trying to do just like a rinsing enema, you know, try to just do like a very, like maybe just a teaspoon of lemon or just your salt water, you know, or some other kind of enema. But the lemon enemas can definitely be quite therapeutic and kill things off. And yeah, I'm gonna post a link to, there's actually like Professor Spira even has like poem, a poem, uh poem song about the lemon enema. People get like really, sorry, my dog is a little cuckoo right now. People get really into these kinds of enemas. So I just wanted to make sure that you had this information and that you could try it out yourself. I'd love to hear how that goes for you. And if you do want my sort of like enema kit 101, you know, cheat sheet for products, let me know, enema kit, in the comments and I will send you that. I'm gonna attach also a link in the description or in the comments about you know, another person's directions for doing a lemon enema with a video and everything if you want to be walked through the process. So thanks so much for tuning in today, and I hope you have an awesome day. Sienna, that's why distilled water is the best. Excuse me.